Good morning and welcome to the Crawford County Commissioners Work Session for March 15th. Start with the District Attorney's Office.
Good morning.
Morning, Paula.
The District Attorney's Office is requesting approval for the payment to the District Attorneys Association in the amount of $4,787.86 for the assessment under Act 1988, 172 for Class 6 County, as well as the attorney's dues fees.
Any questions for Paula? Thank you, Paula.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
The Assessment Office.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning,
Joe.
I present to you the annual invoice for the maintenance for the vision software that we have in the amount of $11,565 for a period of January 1st, 2023 to December 31st of 2023. This is in the 2023 budget approved by the Commission.
Any questions for Joe?
Nope.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
IT.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tim.
IT is here to request the approval of the annual Adobe renewal licenses from CDWG for $8,279.88.
Any questions for Tim? Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
The Courts.
Good morning.
Morning, Heidi.
Seeking approval this morning for a payment to Stenograph LLC for 1 year of Catalyst software support beginning April 10th, 2023 for $839.52.
Any questions for Heidi? Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Public Safety.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Greg.
I'm going to request your approval of our county's annual hazardous materials report for 2022 that was submitted to you earlier.
Okay.
And we're also asking for your approval to submit our emergency management performance grant application to PEMA in the amount of $76,404.98.
Any questions for Greg? Thank you, Greg.
Thank you very much.
The Correctional Facility.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Jack.
This morning requesting the approval of the payment of $1,429 for replacement of 18 perimeter lights that are under warranty for replacement. Cost and labor and the use of the bucket truck is what the $1,429 is about. Warranty and work to be done by Cox and Kenya. This is a budgeted item under the maintenance agreements.
Okay.
Secondly, requesting the approval of payments of $4,320 for required annual inspection of jail sprinkler fire system. Inspection to be completed by Canada Security, and this is also a budgeted item.
Any questions for Jack?
So on A, I assume the warranty covers the lights, but not the
Correct.
labor and.
Yep.
Okay. Any other
That's all
questions?
I
I
had.
didn't know Canada did sprinkler and fire.
They do
stuff.
now.
They do, and they're
Great.
half the price
Half the
of what we
price.
paid
Wow.
last year.
Great.
Wonderful.
I know we have a good relationship with
Yep,
them for
so we know.
camera, so.
Kudos to you, Jack, for good financial decisions. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Fair Board.
I'll do
Commissioner
that one. Got two items on the agenda this morning. The first one would be to approve the appointment of Sequoia Whitmer as a Fair Board Director representing the West Region. She would be completing the term of Adam Rainey that recently vacated,
Okay.
and that term runs through December 31st of 2026.
Mhm.
And then the other would be the appointment of Dan Arnett as Fair Board Director. His term expired at the end of December, and he ran again and was interviewed and was chosen, so he would be filling a full term this time. Last time he did a replacement on a vacancy, so his term would be January 23 through December 31st, 2027.
Thank you, Francis, for sitting in on the interviews as well for us. Appreciate
Sure.
that.
Then we had three
Questions?
good candidates, so it was nice to have a choice.
Yeah, and Dan's been a great member. My only comment would be that would also be a West Region appointment, not an at-large.
Okay.
I mean, because I don't think we have an at-large
He
necessarily.
was at large before,
Yeah,
so, but I see what you're saying,
You know
because
what
I
I
don't
mean?
think we have three.
these two will make 3 and 4, which will
Is it all
satisfy
right?
the requirement, or the most that can come from any one region.
Well, then one of the four has to be an at-large.
No, because we haven't remember, we never really created that category of membership. So I think, and Dean and I had gone back and
Okay.
forth with this, I think they're all still from a region, but no more than 4 can be from the same
Right.
region. So,
Okay.
We can research that further before next week, but,
Well,
I don't
if
know that we
Dean's talking
officially
about it, that's good for
created, yeah. So,
Fair
that
enough.
was my thought.
Any other questions? Planning.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Zach.
Morning,
Morning,
Zach.
Zachary.
A number of items this morning. The first, asking for payment of a invoice to HRG in the amount of $18,680 for January 2023 engineering services. This is non-budgeted, but is paid for out of the ARC Power Grant. We're also seeking approval for paying a pay application to Dynasty Construction in the amount of $11,691. This is for the Heidi Cooper Park Phase 1 project. It is non-budgeted, but is paid for out of the City of Meadville CDBG CV1 contract. We are also asking for approval to pay an invoice from the Meadville Tribune in the amount of $380.50 for legal advertisements associated with the broadband RFP. This is paid for out of our ARPA funding. We're asking for approval to pay a portion of an invoice from the Meadville Tribune in the amount of $1,417. These are for two notifications, the first being North and South Shenango's Joint Municipal Authorities Sanitary Sewer Extension Project, and the second being the Carl Gurdon Parks RFP, RROF. These are both paid for out of fiscal year 2019 administration CDBG funds.
Okay.
We're also asking for approval to execute a service order agreement and then statement of work contract between Crawford County and Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, also known as Starlink, to purchase Starlink kits and services. This is covered under the ARPA funds.
Okay.
We're also asking for approval to execute a memorandum of understanding between Crawford County and Lawrence County. This satisfies the conditions for their lead-based paint hazard control grant program. Lawrence County received $5 million from the federal government, and this would allow them to utilize those funds to help abate lead-based paint here in Crawford County.
Okay.
Next, we're seeking approval of a resolution authorizing Commissioner Henry to execute a shared use path right-of-way agreement made between Crawford County and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Department of Transportation. This authorizing the resolution for the shared use path right-of-way on Route 6, the bypass, would also enter us into an agreement for maintenance.
Okay.
And then finally, we're asking to ratify approval of the whole home repair program contract executed between Crawford County and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Can you give us a timeline for each, for the whole home repair?
So we've had a lot of phone calls already
Okay.
from citizens. Unfortunately, because this is a brand new program and because we are starting from scratch, we did not have any housing rehab being undertaken by the planning department. We anticipate it's going to be probably January of 2024 that we will release the program publicly. We will do our due diligence to get up faster than that, but we're going to need to hire staff and develop the entire program and build out relationships and partnerships with inspectors and contractors and everything. So instead of trying to rush it, we want to make sure we get it right
Sure.
the first time. We were telling folks January of 2024, be prepared for all of the information to go public, and it will be a quick turnaround in terms of getting that out the door and then executing on those for contracts and work orders.
Okay, and if people want more information, there'll be I imagine a website that.
Yep, there'll be a website, and we'll send out flyers, and we may even hold a meeting regarding
Okay,
it.
thank you, Zach.
Okay? Thank you all.
County maintenance.
Morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
Morning. Request to ratify approval to pay the invoices for the courthouse remodeling project, the HVAC project totaling $111,386.
Okay.
Request to ratify approval to pay Brian Noah, project manager, for professional services 1/1 of '23 to 1/1/31 of '23 for $2,916. Requesting to approval to pay Canada Security their 50% deposit on each project. This will be paid for with P Corp grant money. It's to install 5 cameras, security cameras at the fairgrounds and 2 on the front of the courthouse.
Okay.
Requesting approval to pay the invoice for the Meadville Tribune. This is for advertisement of the stormwater retention pond project at the fairgrounds for $256.
Okay.
Requesting approval to pay the invoice for the Meadville Tribune. This is for advertisement of the rehab of Creek Road Bridge, County Bridge Number 8, for $1,181.90. This will be paid by Liquid Fuels money.
Okay.
Requesting approval to pay an invoice for the Eads Group for professional engineering services for the rehab of Creek Road Bridge Number 8 for $5,196.60. This will be paid for with Liquid Fuels money.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify approval to issue a notice of an intent to award to Shingle Deckers Welding. This is to rehab the bridge, Creek Road Bridge Number 8 for $145,000. Requesting to ratify approval for an invoice for remodeling the Commissioner's office for $44.58.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify approval for pay an invoice to remodel the Human Resources office for $480 to Annie's Flooring and Commercial Services.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify approval to pay invoices for the courthouse remodeling project for the planning office remodel for $115.17.
Okay.
And requesting to ratify approval of invoices to remodel the treasurer's office for a total of $659.76.
Any questions for Mark? Thanks as always for handling all those projects for us.
Thank you.
Human Services?
Morning.
Morning, Sue.
Morning, Sue.
I'm requesting approval of the F1 amendment to the fiscal year 22-23 contract with Family Services of Northwest Pennsylvania for training costs. All of these costs will be funded by Family First Transition Act funds. There's no county match on these funds. Requesting approval of the F1 amendment with Youth Advocate Programs for truancy services. This amendment is increasing the total contract maximum for truancy services from $150,000 to $266,000. The cost to the county for the additional $116,000 of funding is $11,600.
Any questions for Sue? Thank you.
Thank you.
Finance?
Morning, Stephanie.
Morning, Stephanie.
For your approval, I have invoices totaling $506,543.05. The first is to Maximus. It's for our 2023 cost allocation, which is based on the year-end 12/31/2021. The invoice number is 1. The amount is for $7,450, and it comes from Finance Professional Services. The second is to Penn Soil Resource Conservation and Development Council. It's the 2023 membership dues / annual allocation. It's in the amount of $5,000. It comes from Conservation and Development contributions. Next is to Penn State Extension. It's the 2023 budgeted allocation, and it is for the first quarter of 2023, $52,500 for the cooperative extension contributions. Next is also to Penn State Extension. It's their 2023 budgeted allocation for rent for the first quarter of 2023 in the amount of $20,000 from the cooperative extension contributions. Next is to CYS. It's the quarter 2 fiscal year 2022-23 county match in the amount of $416,089.45. That comes from county match. And lastly, to the treasurer of the city of Meadville, it's the 2023 stormwater management user fees in the amount of $5,503.60, and that comes from the public utility services from various offices within the courthouse.
Okay. Any questions for Stephanie? Commissioner's office, I think Keith, you're gonna handle it.
First is to ratify the listing contract with Walker and Dunlop regarding the Crawford County Care Center.
Okay.
And the second is to approve the RFP/RFQ for acquisition and operation of the Crawford County Care Center.
Okay, any questions for Keith?
Nope.
We approving or ratifying the RFQ?
I think by the time you do it, it's gonna be a ratify. Yeah,
Okay.
I wonder if we should
yeah,
change it to
by the time
ratify.
next week rolls
Yeah,
around. Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Upcoming events, the next full session will be March 22nd, the next work session, April 5th, and believe it or not, Easter is close, closed on Good Friday, April 7th. Any public comment? Commissioner comments, Commissioner Wiederspin?
Well, I'm gonna start with my annual advertisement for the Crawford County Forest out near Hightown, April 21st at 9:30 in the morning. We'll begin the cleanup and education of the county forest and the East Branch Trail. It runs through the county forest. We'll be meeting at the intersection of Rosenberg and Greytown Road. Even if you can just come out for an hour or two and find out what the county forest and East Branch Trail is all about, you'd certainly be welcome. And if you want to stay for the whole day, in the afternoon, we'll be picking up whatever garbage is out there. We've been doing that, I think, for about 6 or 7 years, and thankfully, every year it gets a little less that needs picked up, so it's definitely making an impact, but I just invite you to come out and attend.
Okay, Commissioner Saab?
Just a reminder for those candidates who may happen to be in attendance today at the meeting, or listening to it, or watching it on YouTube, casting of lots at noon, right here in the Assembly Room, for your ballot position for the upcoming spring primary.
Okay, I don't have anything. We'll see you next Wednesday.